Hi there, boys and girls. This is a vocabulary video for our book, The Night at Dawn. So I'm going to show you some important vocabulary from this book, chapter by chapter. I'll say the word, and you say the word after me, and then I'll tell you what it means, okay? Let's get started. Chapter 1, Vocabulary. The first word is disappeared. This just means something is gone. Disappeared. Next one, mysterious. When you don't really know what's happening, it's very mysterious. Next is serious. So something is very important and you shouldn't be laughing. It's very serious. Next word is strange. Just something that's a little bit odd or different. Strange. Next is flashlight. This is a tool we use to see in the dark. You just turn it on and boom, there's some light. Flashlight. Next is facts. These are things that can be proven, like 2 plus 2 equals 4. That is a fact. Next one, cricket. This is a little insect that looks like a grasshopper, and it makes noise with its back legs. Cricket. Next one, gray. This is just a color. If you mix black and white, you get gray. Next, sweatshirt. This is a shirt or a sweater that you can wear when it's cold outside. Sweatshirt. Next, sneakers. These are just running shoes. Sneakers. Next, belt. This is something that will help keep your pants up. Belt. Crept. This is the past tense form of creep. So you're kind of walking slowly and sneakily. It's the past tense form of creep, and the word is crept. Okay, here's chapter 2 vocabulary. Dawn. This is just when the sun is coming up. So when you see the sunrise, that is dawn. Next, distant. Something that is far away, it is distant. Next, fog. So when it's hard to see outside, that is because of the fog. Next, leather. You can make clothes, jackets, shoes, and purses out of leather. And it's just animal skin, usually cows. Leather. Next, scattered. If something is all over the place, then it's scattered. Next, silk. You can also make clothes out of silk, and it's very soft and smooth. Silk. Neighing. And the verb is actually neigh, and this is the sound that a horse makes. Neigh. Next one, bookmark. So if you're reading a long book and you don't want to lose your page, you use a bookmark. Next, castle, where kings and queens live in a castle. Night. Now, this night is not nighttime like when you go to bed. This knight is someone who would defend a king, and it's spelled with a K in front, but the K is silent. We don't say knight, it's just night. Next one is armor. This is the heavy metal stuff that a knight will wear to protect its body. Armor. Okay, here's chapter 3 vocabulary. First word is bridge. So when you want to cross a river, usually someone will build a bridge to help people get across. Bridge. Feast. And when everyone gets together and you have a lot of food, that is a feast. Like maybe you had a feast during Chinese New Year. Buildings. These are just all the houses and apartments in an area. Buildings. Hawk. This is a very big bird that can fly very fast. Hawk. Next word is helmet. Maybe you wear one when you're riding a bicycle, but a knight would wear one to protect its head. Helmet. Drawbridge. This is something that a castle would have, and it's just a bridge that would drop down and people could get into the castle. Drawbridge. And the bridge part is usually because the castle has a moat. Next one, shriek. Just like a loud scream. Shriek. Next one, moat. And this is something kings and queens would have built around their castle to help protect it. It's just like a big river that goes around a castle. Moat. And that's why you would need a drawbridge. Next one, peacock. This is a bird, maybe you've seen it at the zoo. It's very beautiful and has very long feathers. Peacock. Gate. This is just a part of a fence or a wall that would open up. Gate. Enemies. These are just two people who really don't like each other. They are enemies. Next one, crocodiles. They live in the river, but I wouldn't go swimming if the river has crocodiles. Okay, chapter 4, vocabulary. Planks. These are just pieces of wood. Maybe you would put planks on the floor, or the planks would put together to make a bridge. Planks, just pieces of wood. Halt. This just means stop. So if someone tells you to halt, they want you to stop. Next one, guard. This is someone who will just protect you. Like maybe there's a security guard at your apartment. Guard. Next one, stable. This is just a special barn for horses. Stable. Next, antlers. This is something deer and moose have on their heads. They look kind of like horns. Antlers. Next, capes. Superheroes wear them. Just Superman has one, Batman has one. Capes. Next one, torches. So a long time ago they didn't have flashlights, so they put sticks and set them on fire, and that's how they could see in the dark. Torches. Well. And this is where you can get some water from the well. Chapter 5, vocabulary. Trapped. When you're stuck inside something, you are trapped. Next word, suits. Now, maybe your father wears suits to work, but suits could also be suits of armor. Suits. Flashlight. And I think we've already had this word, but it's in chapter 5 as well, but it's very important. Flashlight, something to help you see in the dark. Silence. So when there's no noise and no sound, there is silence. Shh. Silence. Next word is armory, and this is where they would keep the armor and all the weapons at the armory. Just a part of the castle where you would keep weapons and the armor. And this next word, weapons. Tools for fighting, that's all it is. Weapons. And again, armor, a very important word in this book, something the knight would wear to protect its body. Shields. Now, if you're fighting, you could use a shield to protect yourself. Kind of like what Captain America has. He carries a shield. Spear. This is a long weapon that people might throw or just use during a fight. Spear. And another weapon is a sword. You would carry it around your waist and you could take it out when you're ready for battle. Next, club. Kind of looks like a baseball bat, but if you're fighting, you could use this as your weapon. Crossbow. This is kind of like a bow and arrow, but it could shoot the arrow very, very far. Crossbow. Battle axe. Kind of looks like an axe for chopping down trees, but it's a battle axe because it's used in a battle or when you're fighting. Okay, chapter 6 vocabulary. Mustache. This is just the hair under someone's nose. That's a mustache. Now, if there's hair all over the person's face, that's a beard, but this is a mustache. Spies. These are people who will go to a different country and get information and then take it back to their own country. Spies. Foreigners. These are just people who go to another country. Foreigners. Next one, arrest. This is something a police officer will do to a bad guy. The police officer will arrest the bad guy. It just means to take someone to jail. Arrest. Dungeon. This is kind of like a jail, but it's in a castle. So a dungeon is underneath the castle, and it's where the king would put the bad guys. Dungeon. Duke. This was a very important person in medieval times. Not as important as a king, but still someone very important. They usually had a lot of money. Duke. Thieves. These are people who will steal money. Thieves. Chains. These are just metal links that are linked together, and if you've done something bad, you might get put in chains. Okay, chapter 7 vocabulary. Sacks. These are just bags. Sacks. Barrels. These are big round tubs made out of wood, and you could keep wine in it or a bunch of anything actually. You could keep flour in it, maybe corn, maybe just water. So barrels were very useful a long time ago. Wine. This is something adults might drink on Chinese New Year. Wine. It's just an alcoholic drink made from grapes. And kings and queens used to like to drink it. Flour. This is what you need to make bread or pancakes. Flour. Trapdoor. Maybe in the floor of someone's house they have a secret door. That's called a trapdoor. Precipice. This is a big fancy word in our book. Precipice. It just means the edge. So the edge of the cliff is a precipice. Very dangerous place to be. Next one, tunnel. Just a place underground to let you kind of travel secretly. Tunnel. Or maybe a way to get through a mountain. Tunnel. Batteries. So if you're playing a video game, maybe it needs batteries. Batteries go in many things, like flashlights. Batteries. Okay, chapter 8 vocabulary. Moat. And I think we've already talked about this. A river or a lake that goes around a castle to protect it. Moat. Tread. This is when you're in a swimming pool or in the ocean and you just move your legs in circles. It's called treading water. Tread. Just to keep your body above water. Crocodiles. These are large, scary reptiles that live in the rivers. Crocodiles. Foggy. Just a word to describe the weather when there's a lot of fog and it's hard to see outside. Foggy. Next one, embankment. Kind of like the shore of the river. Just a place where it's the edge of the river really, and they would build it and put rocks there just to kind of protect the river in case the river were to get really, really high or full of water. Embankment. Just the edge of the river. Mist. This is kind of like fog. If you look up into the mountains, you might see it looks like it has clouds floating around the mountain. This would just be mist, like little water droplets in the air. Mist. Shivering. This is what you're probably doing if you're very cold. You're shivering. Next word, dungeon. The place in the castle where they would put the bad guys and they would chain them up to the wall. Dungeon. Okay, chapter 9 vocabulary. Dismounted. Now, mounted is when you have gotten on the horse, so dismounted is when you have gotten off the horse. So mount is what you do to get on the horse. Dismount is get off. Dismounted. Next word, reins. These are what you would pull if you want the horse to stop. They're kind of like handlebars for the horse. Reins. Saddle. This is what you sit on when you're riding a horse. Saddle. Bowed. This is what you might do to some of your teachers to show respect. And you would have to do it to a king or a queen if you saw one. Bowed. This is an expression, a brief moment. This is just a short period of time, a brief moment, like maybe only 10 or 15 seconds. A brief moment. So brief just means short, and moment, you're talking about time. So just a short period of time. A brief moment. Screaming. This is what you're doing when you're really not happy. Screaming. Ah! Silence. This would be the opposite of screaming. Silence is when there's no noise. Silence. Shh. Okay, chapter 10 vocabulary. Dawn. This is morning when the sun's coming up. It's very beautiful at dawn. Next word, deserted. Deserted means there's nobody around. This place is deserted. Upstairs. This would be the second floor of the house, or maybe the third floor, upstairs. And downstairs could be just first floor or maybe even the basement. So the girl is upstairs. Cozy. This is when you're just very warm and comfortable. Cozy. Pajamas. These are what you wear to go to sleep. Pajamas. Ancient. This is a word to describe something that's very old. Ancient. Solved. This is when you've had a problem and then you figured out the answer. So you solved the problem. Solved. Okay, good job, boys and girls. That's it for the vocabulary from The Night at Dawn. I hope you enjoyed the book and I hope you enjoyed the video. And as a knight would say, fare thee well. That just means bye-bye. So, bye-bye or fare thee well.